Chase, who everybody's in love with Chase. I'm in love with Chase. I've created the man I want to marry in my novel, for God's sakes. Chase is wonderful, and he comes from a very poor background. He grew up in a trailer. His mother was the victim of domestic violence, and both his parents were extremely racist. In fact, they did not allow Chase to play on the inn beach, as they called it. This is the true part of the story in terms of Topsail Island. When the island was so-called integrated, the blacks lived on one side still and the whites on the other. And down south, I hate to say this, but there is that saying that the only thing white folks hate more than black folks is poor white folks. And so they didn't allow the poor whites to live next to the more wealthy whites. So the poor whites lived next to the black neighborhood. So why wouldn't children play together? Why wouldn't they go and play on the beach together and in the sound together and go crabbing together? That's what children do at the beach. But because of segregation, this was not allowed. So both of the parents were that way. The mother was that way. There's a line in the book where Destiny actually says, he couldn't play with me because I was black, but I couldn't play with him because he was poor. And these are things that had been ingrained in these children by their parents. So they had to hide to play. And they never even could consider loving each other until time moved on and things changed. And what would you do at a second chance at your first love? But the reality is that Destiny comes from a very wealthy family. Her father's a doctor. Her mother's the society lady. She's had a wedding with 1,000 people. The mayor comes to the wedding. I mean, this is a very wealthy family. And the mother has ingrained in her, we want you to be a big network star. We want you to marry well. Even though the mother doesn't like anybody she chooses, but definitely not a poor white guy. That's not going to happen. That's who she's in love with. On the other side, Chase's parents, well, the father was an abuser. The mother was very poor, had no standing in society, but still raised a child who decided to do something good, to become a police officer and to stop the train of racism in his family, and who didn't want to be anything like his father, and loves his mother dearly but doesn't agree with her choices. And that has confused him in terms of when we meet Chase, he's in a bad relationship. And we wonder, why is he there? You know, when that's not really who he is. And I think sometimes we do make decisions based on our societal or parental pressures. And many people who are reading the book are like, I do wonder if I made the right choices in my life. If I had a second chance, would this have been the choice I made? And let me tell you this, as I've been all over the country, really, speaking to people and my readers, I've had white men who have come to me and said, thank you for telling our story. And I said, what, you like black women? It's like, no. But seriously, they said, thank you for telling the story of a poor white boy who really wanted to change his life and had a hope and a dream, that the American dream. And they told me, they said, we don't see a lot of stories like that, where a poor white man, and they told me that as a white man walking in America, many people assume they're privileged or assume they're white, that there are very few stories that talk about what it's like being poor in America as a white boy growing up with dreams. And even in spite of their situation and circumstances, and even parental pressures, they still achieve a good life and being good people. And that's my Chase.